Did you know that both Sting and Kendrick Lamar did not wait until everything felt perfect before they let their music out into the world? Sting wrote Walking on the Moon after a late night restless evening. They say he was a little drunk, but he was walking around inside of his hotel room and he just had this riff of a beat, the song going through his head, and he was inspired by the moonlight as well. And that's what he went with to create that song. He didn't wait for to know every single thing he needed to know about the song before he let that song out to be enjoyed by the world. Kendrick Lamar, he released an entire album, Untitled Masters, that was made up of unfinished demos that didn't make it to one of his main projects. They both trusted their raw energy and let them out into the world anyway. What if the only difference between you and them isn't talent, but the willingness to trust your intuition and move, even though you feel like you're not ready yet? Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 very easy and simple techniques to help you get into that flow. And your transformation is going from overthinking to decisive action. And the good news is you can repeat this again and again. Keep this video handy. Always come back to it whenever you feel unsure. I'm going to walk you through those steps. We're going to do them together. Let me tell you what you need to get ready for first. I need you to grab a pen and a paper so that you can jot down some notes or whatever comes up for you. And I'm going to need you to go into a quiet space if you can and give yourself this time to be together, to run through these exercises or these techniques so that you can practice them with me and that you can do them on your own. All right? You ready to get started? This first technique, I title it First Answer, Best Answer. And what I'm going to ask for you to do is for you to not overthink anything. We're going to be working with the raw information, that first information that comes from you. Trust that. Don't choose 5 of them, but choose the first one that comes to mind and let that one be okay. And if there's any others that are competing for your attention, just say to yourself that you can do this again with those. So we are going to do first answer, best answer, and it's going to take less than 3 minutes. So if you don't have your pen and paper handy yet, pause this video and come right back and we'll get started. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and I'm going to want you to answer those questions on your piece of paper without overthinking and without relying on anything else than just trusting your gut, okay? You got this. What's one decision or desire that you keep overthinking? And I repeat, what's one decision or one desire that you keep overthinking? Write it down, put your pencil down. If you could hear your intuition right now, what is it whispering to you that's holding you back? If you could hear your intuition right now, if you heard the answer to what's holding you back, what would that be? No overthinking, no matter how stupid or silly it sounds in your mind, write it down. So it's very important for you to write down the very first thing that pops in your mind without challenging it or trying to manage your mind to say, well, it's just not, that's not possible. That makes no sense. It makes perfect sense. You'll see. It always makes perfect sense because the things that get into our minds and crowd us, if we allow ourselves, just like what Mel Robbins says, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's in those short bursts of time that there's truth. When you give yourself time, like after on the 6th second to start thinking, that's when you start getting in trouble. So you had your 2 questions, you wrote them down. Now we're going to take that information and we're going to do something with it. What you've been doing, you've been practicing what Kendrick and Sting do when they're producing their beautiful music. They aren't judging themselves. They are letting it flow through them. And then they just let it flow through them, put it out there, and work with what they put out and believe that's enough. You are enough. What you have is enough. Okay, let's get on to the next one. What we're going to do next is EFT tapping. And EFT tapping is phenomenal for releasing the emotional hold that is on things internally that we can't get to. You know, it is very good for untapping that block. So if you've never done EFT tapping ever and never heard of it, don't worry. Just follow me and in the moves that I'm making, mimic, like say what I say, do what I do. You can always change this later to accommodate your needs. I'm going to walk you through a typical scenario that my clients would have come and talked to me about. So this is going to be 3 different rounds. The first round that we're going to do is going to be the negative round. And then we're going to do a partially negative, partially positive round. And then we're going to do a positive round to really integrate that new emotional charge and that confidence into your nervous system. Okay. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to trigger ourselves because it's an emotional freedom technique. The whole point of it is to feel your feelings. A lot of times we avoid things that we don't want to see, like we don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to feel disappointment. We don't want to feel disapproval. We don't realize how mad we are at ourselves, you know? And of course, when you are stuck with analysis paralysis, there's a lot of stored anger at yourself because you're not doing what you want to do. If you're with me right now on this video, you're a go-getter because I'm called to those that are going or really have a high desire to take off and do self-starters or people who start and stop. And that hesitation or those blocks, they're very frustrating. So this is what the next round is for. It's EFT tapping. I have a script here that I've written out to stay on target, and I might look away at it while I'm tapping just to make sure I don't leave out anything, but I am an intuitive tapper as well. So we're just going to go for it. Okay. So take a look at what you have written on your paper. That thing that you know that you are supposed to be doing is that the question here was, what's one decision or desire I keep overlooking? Okay. So keep that at top of mind. That one decision or desire that you keep overthinking. How mad are you about this? How stuck do you feel about this? How frustrating are you or frustrated are you about that? I want to trigger that emotion to come up. So on a scale from 0 to 10, how does that feel? How does that emotion feel? Write down that number between 0 and 10. In the EFT tapping, we're going to be working to reduce it down to 0. But remember, we're not looking for perfection. It might go down to 2, even a 3 is better than where you're at because our emotions, once we have our thought and we apply emotion to that thought, it gets put into the subconscious mind. We want to pull out those emotions so we can look at our thoughts, so we can look at what's going on inside there, and we can move past this. Choose other obstacles. More things are going to come in the future. We don't want to stay stuck. We want to move forward. So I'm going to take my glasses off so we can get tapping here. All right. So this section here is where we begin. And we're going to tap up and say the same thing 3 times. And it's pretty much no matter who you work with, they all say pretty much the same thing, which is even though I have, and whatever that thing is that you have, that belief or that block or that feeling, and it makes me feel however it's making you feel. I deeply and I completely love and accept myself. It's about like that. You can always change it when you do it yourself. Okay, ready? Let's go. Even though I have this block, you name whatever your block is, I'm going to call it overthinking, okay? So even though I have this overthinking, or this analysis paralysis. And it makes me feel so powerless, helpless, frustrated, whatever it is you're feeling. I still completely love and accept myself, even though I have this overthinking and it makes me feel so uncertain, so unsure, so back and forth, so hesitant. And again, I'm just giving you some ideas of words to say, things to say. You're talking to yourself. And what you're telling yourself is that I still completely, and if that word completely is too much for you, you can say, I still love and accept myself. Even though I have this overthinking and I feel so uncertain, I still love and accept myself. Okay, now we're going to do the tapping throughout the taps of our body to get our meridians going, okay? This overthinking, and use your trigger word. This overthinking, this overthinking, this overthinking, this overthinking, this overthinking, this overthinking, this overthinking. I feel so uncertain. I feel so unsure about myself. I'm so freaking back and forth. I start something, I stop something. I just feel so uncertain. I feel so unsure. I have such a lack of confidence. I just don't do it because I get stuck because I'm overthinking. And this overthinking is just taking over my life. I don't feel like I can get things done. I don't have confidence in myself anymore because I write it all out, I plan it all out, and I get myself ready. And then I get stuck with all the ideas and all the options and opportunities. And I can do it this way. I can do it that way. Look, let me just study this one thing. Let me just get this one other piece of information. I get this other piece of information, then I'll be ready. But then when I go get that piece of information, I see another piece of information that would work. And then I think, oh, I'm not giving people the best. I'm not giving them enough because I'm missing out. Look, there's 5 things I just discovered that I'm not going to talk about, that I'm going to miss, or that I'm not going to share because there's more information. How do I stop this? How do I stop continuing to keep researching? How do I stop? The more I research, the more I find. The more I look, the more I see. I always feel like I'm not ready. It always feels like it's not ready. It always feels like it's not enough, like it could be better. Yeah, that it could be better, that I could make it better. It could be better. Wish that I would stop doing this because I'm not finishing. I'm not finishing. I am just keeping this going. I know there's got to be another way. There has got to be a way for me. Other people are doing it. They're putting their stuff out. And I see people putting things out that I thought of that are half as good as what I have written down here on this paper. I've got whole completed thoughts, and they're putting things out that are okay, and people are liking it. Huh, maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe I should just put out what I know, and then I can add to it later. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Everything doesn't have to be all on the first one. I can do additional. Yeah, because I noticed that a lot of these people, even here on YouTube and these channels that are talking about a subject, they have 50 videos on that same topic. That means that everything does not have to go the first time. There can be parts, there could be versions, there can be different ways of delivering that information with different types of interest and focuses that I could do at different times. That's how I could do things. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to research anymore. I can take what I have, put that to use, and then I can come back and use the others later. Now, I want you to close your eyes and feel into your body. And how intense or negative do your emotions feel now? Have you had a lift in your continence? Do you feel lighter? Place a number of value, and the number you put is right. So if you were feeling like an 8 before, are you at a 5 or a 3? Where do you see yourself at now? And we're going to continue. We're just going to move to the next round. And what I wanted to demonstrate there was, so that wasn't even my script. Once you start tapping, really tapping, and it's messy, so let it be messy. Different stuff comes up. You have an intention to tap on one thing. And then as you are tapping these acupressure points and you're releasing the emotion from the body, because you know your body keeps score, and you're letting the emotion out, especially, and that's why you want to trigger it in the beginning, because you want to feel the negativity. This is not toxic positivity here. You want to be in the messy middle, and you want to let it out, and you want to feel it. And then you want to talk through it. And then you just want to let your gut, your intuition, your spirit talk through those tapping points. That was something evidently I needed to tap through. But you want to get all that negative, and then when you start seeing it becoming positive, you know that you're turning a corner. So let's talk through now the willingness to shift. Because now you've gotten to a place where, okay, so I'm willing to change my mind. I'm willing to see things differently. So we're going to start again right here with a karate chop because we have a different focus. So this is from a negative to a neutral. Because you may be at 5, you might not be at 3, 2, 1, 0 yet, right? So we want to take from the negative and we want to move into the neutral. So you want to say that even though I still feel some of this block, I'm open to seeing things differently. All right, let's go. We're going to do that 3 times and then we're going to tap around. All right, let me make sure here. All right, so even though I still feel some of this overthinking, or this block, this emotion, whatever yours is, even though I still feel some of this overthinking, I am open to seeing things differently. Even though I still feel some of this overthinking, I am open to seeing things differently. Even though I still feel this need to overanalyze it for research, I am open to seeing things differently. Perfect. Now we're going to start tapping at the top of the head. Maybe I can let this go. I'm sorry. I'm willing to believe that change is possible. What if I could see this differently? What if I could see this differently? And then you're going to under the nose, again, or under the eye. I'm open to a new perspective. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You can be tapping all over the place. I am open to a new perspective. I choose to soften around this. Maybe it's safe to let go. I'm going to pull up my notes here. I'm starting to believe that things can shift. I'm starting to believe that things can shift. I'm ready for something better. I allow something better to happen for me. I will allow something better to happen. So that's a shorter round. That is going straight to neutral, letting there be no good, no bad. Just, I'm open. I'm open. So now let's go to a positive round. The last round. This one is the positive, empowering round. Again, I like to go back here and reset because it does something. It does something in your circuitry. There's a trigger. It resets for, when you're going down a different vein. It's very good to come back and reset. But you could just go the first time and tap this way and go all the way through. Don't try to make it too sophisticated. It's just as you get more familiar with EFT tapping, and also understand EFT tapping, when you do it in a therapeutic sense, it could be like real therapeutic, like 20, 30 minutes of tapping. You are literally circulating energy. And then you do it for 30 days. This isn't a one and a done thing, but you can feel better and you can shift yourself daily, really quickly. So now we've done the negative round. We've done now the neutral round. Let's go in and anchor this into positive. But before we do, I want you to take a breath, close your eyes, and feel into your body. And just what's your attitude? What's the attitude right now? How are you feeling? Are you feeling more hopeful? Like, oh, there's a chance. This is possible. Something, maybe this isn't how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. That's good. That's so good. That's like 3, 2, 1, you know? So let's do a round of positive. I'm going to take you through that. So we're going to say, even though I had this block, I now remember who I really am. All right. Even though I had this block, I now remember who I really am. Even though I had this block, I now remember who I really am. Even though I had this block, I now remember who I really am. I am worthy and I am capable. I am worthy and I am capable. Sometimes you tap wherever you feel like it just feels good, just tap there. I am worthy. I am capable. You can just stay here and say this until that anchors in, that sinks in. You know, it's the beauty of tapping. I trust myself. I trust myself. I am the woman who decides. I am the woman who decides. I attract and I manifest my goals with ease. I attract and I manifest my goals with ease. I am free to move forward. I am free to move forward. I am powerful and resilient. I am powerful and resilient. I am aligned with my true self. I am aligned with my true self. I am ready for my next step. I am ready for my next step. I make decisions quickly and easily. I make decisions quickly and easily. Now you should be feeling good and have shifted to a different emotional and attitudinal state, which is really important. So the last thing that we want to do then is we want to visualize our new identity. Okay, so you want to do the visualization because your identity and your imagination are where you create from your reality, all of it. It's not from what you see, but it's from what you feel about what you see. It's how you react, and that emotion attached to that thought creates that. So let's create from the 4D and from the imagination where all things are already. You already exist as your perfect self. We are going to just do a quick visualization of your next best level self. I just want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to take you through some breath work real quick and then the visualization. So you're going to just inhale through your nose. You're going to hold for a count. I'll tell you the count. And then you're going to have a controlled exhale. And your exhale is going to be longer than your inhale. So it tells your vagus nerve. Um, it stimulates that vagus nerve, or it helps to condition it. It tells your body that you're calm. Nothing's chasing you. There's no need for fight or flight. You're doing good. Okay, so close your eyes and take in a deep breath through your nose for a count of 4. And you're going to hold for a count of 4. And now you're going to controlly exhale it for a count of 8 with a whooshing sound. Very good. And breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now just breathe normally and listen to the sound of my voice and keep your eyes closed. I'm going to take you through a short visualization. Now, with your body calm and your heart open and your eyes closed, you're going to step into the visualization. Imagine yourself the person who already has what you want. They're not becoming, they just already exist and they have it. And we're just playing with that imagination and enjoying what that looks like. They're decisive, they're calm, and they trust themselves. So she's decisive, she is calm, and she trusts herself. See her in your imagination. How does she walk? How does she sit up? Or how does she stand? How does she talk? How does she handle decisions? Now I want you to step into her body. I want to imagine yourself stepping into her body. Now see through her eyes. Feel yourself filling out her human, that physical form. Feel her confidence. Feel her clarity. Breathe in her energy. Feel, feel, feel what that feels like. Now I want you to anchor this feeling with a gesture. Maybe put your hand over your heart or press your ring finger and your thumb together. And know that you can return to this version of you anytime you need to. When you need to decide, when you need to create, when you need to move forward, you can always return back to this version of you. Very good. Now take a deep breath and allow yourself to come back into the room and to the now and open your eyes. And that's just a short visualization you could do anytime now to anchor in, to get back that feeling. This is where you create from. This is the true you. So your subconscious mind, my dog, your subconscious mind is always listening. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's my dog scratching to get in the door. Your subconscious mind is always listening, okay? It does not know the difference between what you imagine and what you see in the 3D. So spend the most time that you can in your imagination, in your ideal self, and in your ideal emotions, so it can override what you see. So that you can, first of all, stop reacting automatically to what you see and to make more real, because as Neville Goddard said, you were feeling it real. So your consciousness is where you create from. So what you're conscious of. So you were just conscious of your divine self. Continue to be conscious of that. And you'll start to see your reticular activating system will start filtering out that 3D and showing you always been there. This is what I use to graduate twice with honors. Seeing myself with my gold medallion, walking across the stage, shaking the hand of the school president, saying, "Congratulations, great job." And I have a photo of that. And this is what I've used with clients continually, with helping them to move forward, get unstuck, or whatever. And it has worked in their lives brilliantly. You can always come back to this video and do this over and over. If you found that in working through these techniques, there still was some blocks you were getting in your own way, I offer a free consult for us to get together to see what might be going on and offer some solutions and see how I could help you. If you are ready to get to work and you want more of this, I have created a toolkit that you could do it yourself that will help you immediately work on becoming more decisive, faster, freer, and it is just chock full of tools. Matter of fact, we're going over that in the next video. I'll be unveiling that toolkit and wrapping up this whole series. And if you want to start working, I'm accepting one-on-one clients right now as I'm filming this video. And I'd be more than happy for you to fill out an application and see what it would be like to work with me. All right. So this was phenomenal. You did a great job. If you haven't finished the other 3 in the series, go back and watch those, or click over next to the very next video, video 5, the last video in this series, where we wrap everything up and I let you know more about that toolkit that I created just for you. Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.